Okay, we're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and get this workshop started if we could. So there's no, I was getting ready to make some votes and pledge allegiance.
Me too.
I was a little off here today, but it is a workshop today. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody.
Same to you.
Happy anniversary to me tomorrow.
How many?
Now you pressured me. 38 years tomorrow.
Awesome. You
38.
got married the day after
Day after.
instead of the day?
It was our first date 2 years before that. So we've been together 40 years.
Oh.
I'm catching up with Lewis.
Doesn't she deserve a proclamation or something?
I think she does. I think she does.
You can't hold mine on the better.
There you go. And Steve, I wanted to tell you that we heartfelt condolences for the loss of your mother. I know it's a very difficult time and something that none of us want to go through. Okay, we got a discussion on Resolution R2 2024 establishing a financial policy pertaining to the unassigned general fund. So this was something that I think we as a board have talked about for some time to know specifically what we should have in our general fund. It was when I came on board in 2014, we had quite a few dollars in the general fund, and quite frankly, we spent a lot of that general fund money, and it was spent because we just paid for items as we needed it, and I've always felt that why keep the taxpayers' money if we don't have a direction to use it for? And that was always my philosophy. But I also felt that we should have a policy in place. Should that number be 20% of your general budget? Should it be 10% of your general budget? Should it be 5%? So during this time of figuring out the, let me see, find it here, going through this bonding process, we found out that the town of Elkton should have a policy in place for its general fund. And as you can see, Lou, do you want to pick it up from there and tell us exactly what's on this?
Well, I asked, the Davenport is recommending this particular policy, and Jennifer Derrickson's online here, and I'd asked her, or Joe Mason when I see Jim there, to explain to the board the importance of having a policy where you have a reserve in place in the general fund for emergencies, essentially, or shortfalls in the general fund revenue source. So Jennifer, are you there?
Yeah, I am. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello, Jennifer. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. Hope you all are doing well too.
So hopefully you heard kind of my opening, and this is important to us, and we're looking for some guidance here, and lay it on us.
Of course, no problem. So yes, what's before you in today's resolution are formal policies related to both to fund balance as well as some debt and other long-term liabilities. And these, having formal policies can help guide decision making and ultimately support a healthy financial position. And while their, financial policies should be reviewed on a regular basis, these benchmarks are really there to be guidance, as there might be staff turnover or even turnover, commissioner, over the years. It really just, provides guidance as to where you should be and to maintain a healthy financial position. In addition, I know you all are looking to issue bonds for the sports park. So financial policies are something that the rating agencies look at as well. So putting these financial policies in place will also be a credit positive from their standpoint. It's something that they will look for and want to understand. And when you adopt a policy, you want to make sure that it's in line with industry standards and comparable to your peers, which is what we've taken into account when we put these recommendations together. And the one other thing, like when you do adopt financial policies, not only do you want to review them on a fairly regular basis, but you want to also make sure that they're maintained. And if you're not in compliance with a policy, that your policy includes an overview of how you get back into compliance with those policies. So that's sort of a general overview of sort of the importance of policies and what the rating agencies are looking for. But in terms of the fund balance policy in general, we're recommending a 5% of general fund revenues policy. This is sort of the minimum that we see for local governments and industry standard. Right now, or at least as of fiscal 22, I know you all are working on your fiscal 23 audit, you're at about 2%. So what we have proposed in this policy is that over a time period through fiscal 29, that each year the town add to the fund balance little by little. So this is something that you'll have to take into account when you're thinking about your budget in each year to make sure that you're able to sort of hit these marks to get to the 5%. It's really a rate, this 5% unassigned fund balance is really a rainy day fund, like a savings account that you would have. And it should just sit there in case of emergencies. So it could be used for, one-time emergencies. Let's say there's, a natural disaster or, some other weather-related event. Or if, revenues unexpectedly, due to extreme economic stress didn't come in as anticipated, you could use this savings account to draw on. This 5% reserve would not be used to support recurring expenditures, and it would not be used to sort of balance the budget in any given year. It's really just there, as sort of protection against any unforeseen, emergencies that might come up. And in the policy as well, particularly for the fund balance, if you were to fall below the 5%, we've recommended a 3-year replenishment time frame. This is in line with industry standards. So if you fell below the 5%, then the town would put in a plan to get back to that 5% level over a 3-year period. And so that also provides sort of not only a benchmark for the town, but also a benchmark for the rating agencies to know that you're going to be proactive and get back into compliance with the policy that you adopted. So that's, I know I've said a lot particularly about the fund balance, and before we go on to the others, I just want to open it to any questions that you might have on the fund balance policy.
I like it. I think it's important. I think it's something that I'm glad we could put it in place, and I think it takes a lot of guesswork out by having a policy, and it's something that can be adjusted by the future boards if they feel that it's too much or not enough. But at least it gives us a starting point. Anyone else have any comment on that?
No, I think it's a very good idea. The percentage that you've given, and you gave meaning to why we should have it. So I agree with you, and thanks for the information.
Yeah, I think a fund like that is very important. Is there a minimum or a maximum amount that we would have in there? Are there opportunities to move funds if we start getting an excessive amount in this?
Yeah, so first it would be working up to that 5% level. Once you hit the 5% level, then I guess the discussion would be, at that point, do you want to adjust your policy? Is 5% the right number, or do you need to adjust it upwards, depending on, other things like volatility in revenues or expenditures that you've seen. But I think trying to get to this minimum is sort of a great first step. and getting to the 5% and committing to that and putting money aside to sort of build that up to 29, in fiscal 2029. But yes, certainly this is something that you should review, if not in every sort of budget process, looking at the 5% and whether that's the right number. I would say every 2 to 3 years, just to see if you're keeping up with industry standards and peers overall.
Very good. Thank you, Jennifer. What's next?
So there are 3 additional policies that are also industry standards that the rating agencies like to look at. One is looking at outstanding debt to your full value. And I can put up, if I'm able to share my screen. Oh, I don't know if I am actually.
Hang on just a quick sec.
She's making it over to you.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay, try.
Okay. Oh, no, it says it's still disabled. I'm sorry.
That's okay, bear with me.
So Jennifer, while we're still talking,
Yeah.
could we create or help us create also what our water and sewer fund balance should be, and also our major facility fund balance? Is that something you could work with us on?
Yeah, we could certainly work with you on that as well. That's not a problem. Typically for, utility enterprises, you'll want to see a, sort of coverage level, particularly if you have debt associated with that. And if not coverage, usually a day's cash on hand. The industry standard is usually 3 months. Days cash on hand for a utility, about 90 days. So that's something that we could take a look at. And we did look at your utility funds when we did the comprehensive financial review. So we can, look at the numbers there and provide some recommendations to Mr. George, and then pass them on to you if that's agreeable to you and the commissioners.
I'm looking at the commissioners. Are you guys kind of thumbs up, thumbs down?
I'm thumbs up with it.
It all sounds good.
That's some idea.
Yeah, if you could get that information over to Lewis, that'd be great.
Yep, that's not a problem.
Thank you.
Yep. So the first debt policy that I mentioned was this debt to full value. And this is an industry standard. It really measures debt capacity. So it looks at how much can the town borrow. And we are recommending a policy level of 4.5%. Which, if we look at what the estimated debt service on the sports park is, because you have very minimal debt outstanding currently, you will see on this slide that you would remain below this 4.5%. So it still gives you some capacity if you had any additional debt issuance, which I know you're not anticipating. But it's still in line. The 4.5 is in line with what we see other local governments having as a policy threshold. The next, sorry. Hold on a second. Let me go back to where I was.
So currently, did we have a policy? We didn't have a policy in place for debt service.
No, you did not. You did not have a fund balance or any debt policies. And so the ones that we're recommending are really the industry standards that we see most local governments having adopted, whether or not they have a rating. But from a rating standpoint, these are also ones that the rating agencies like to see as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep. The second debt policy here is the debt service to expenditures. So this is, instead of, the last one was, can I borrow this? This is really, can I afford this? It's looking at debt service as a percentage of your budget. And so we are recommending a 15% policy. So this is sort of the highest threshold that we see for this policy. Normally, I would say 10 to 12 is sort of a normal range. But given the size of the sports park, we think that 15% is the right number here. This provides you some additional cushion if for some reason the town actually needed to pay debt service on the sports park bonds. If the sports park bonds are fully self-supporting, then that debt service won't even show up in this metric. And so you would be well below the 15%. But the 15% is good as long as the sports park generates revenues to pay at least 30% of the annual debt service as it's estimated now. So this gives some cushion here, and that's why we went with a slightly higher policy, just looking at the projected debt of the sports park in the event that for some reason the town would need to pay.
Yeah, I think it's important for us to have this policy also in place. These are important policies.
So, and then the next policy and final policy that we recommended is sort of actually building off of the one we just talked to, debt service to expenditures. This is just sort of expanding that. So this looks at debt service, pensions, and OPEB. And I know that the town does not have any OPEB costs, so that's a positive. So really it's more just adding those pension costs into this mix. And this is something that the rating agencies actually started looking at over the last few years, and we've had a number of local governments, I would say, over that time period, adopt policies for fixed costs. And so the maximum industry threshold is sort of 25%, which is what we're recommending. The rating agencies in particular don't like to see fixed costs go above 25% because obviously the higher your fixed cost, the less financial flexibility you have, to sort of adjust your budget if needed. So keeping your fixed costs below 25% and as low as you can gives more financial flexibility to a local government. And you can see here that even with the projected debt as it stands now, the town would remain below this 25% policy. I think you would get up to about 22.2%, through 2023. So this is just another industry standard that we think would be beneficial to the town.
Perfect.
And so that really sort of, those are the 4 policies that we're recommending in this resolution. I'm happy to answer any questions about any of the debt-related policies as well, if there are any.
I think you covered it pretty well, but does anyone from the board have any questions or comments? And I know I got a squeaky microphone, I think.
Oh, you're okay.
Jennifer, thank you.
Thank you so much, and I will work on those water and sewer policies.
Certainly appreciate that. That's very important for our next step.
Thanks. Have a great rest of your afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Take care.
Guys, give it some, digest this resolution a little bit, and I think we'll bring it up at the next meeting, if everyone's okay with it, and get the ball rolling. We'll budget for it. We'll start out small and move it in year 5. We'll have it all worked out.
That's a good start.
Yeah, I think so. Lou, are you okay with that? I'm sure you're okay with that resolution.
Yes, I'm going to amend to include those other policies that are already enumerated. One of the things I wanted to mention now is that I had sent a calculation to you for fiscal 25. We don't have the assessed values yet for.
We got this morning.
So we got them. I used the assessed values, our budget number from the 24 budget, and the 2.5% will amount to $268,950. So it's not an insignificant number that we have to have in the unassigned fund balance in 2025. But it depends on our budget and what the new numbers are.
Hopefully new numbers went up.
That's going to be up about 5.9%.
Which is a good
over a year ago.
So we got
That might cover it. Very good.
Okay.
All right, discussion on the Republic 90-day update. Come on down, Dan, if you want to give us an update, and you could probably do the overview that you gave us a memo on.
Don't we want to do that in closed session?
Yeah, but I think,
Yes.
is that what you want to do in close? Okay.
Yes.
Were you going to do the 90-day update?
Yes.
Yeah.
We do 90 day first.
And who do we have in closed session today? We got you, we got Mary, and anyone else? Jean?
Jean.
Jean, okay. All right, Dan, lay it on us. Give us the Republic 90-day update.
Yes, I'd like to introduce members of my team up with me today. I got Brian McQueen, I got Tracy Gowdy, and I got Dominic back there from Republic. We'll be talking about them.
All right.
90 days ago, we entered into a contract with Republic Services. And, you know, in the process to actually get them started, we probably deployed over 9,600 trash toters throughout various things throughout the town. Which means every week, you've got Republic taking 9,600 stops, so it gives you an idea what's going on with it. Okay? Where we used to come from, just to give you an idea of where we were, we used to have a complaint log, which we used to get Tracy backwards and forwards. This is just one typical week, all kind of stuff. We used to get like 40, 80, almost 90 complaints a month or something for much trash and everything. Since Republics took over, how many calls we get last month?
5.
Got 5. So that's working pretty well that way. You know, the residents seem to be very responsive. We get Republic's also responsive to the way they're picking it up. So all in all, we think this has been a very good process so far, you know, for this whole day. We just wanted to touch base with the board after 90 days, so just say that we have.
Dan, I have to ask this question while you're talking about the number of cans. Do you have any idea how many we lost in the floods?
Probably 6.
Probably about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
We have an idea where they're at. We just have to wait till it gets warmer. Brian just happens to have a boat. I think we can track them down or something. So, you know.
I know where one is.
Yeah. Yeah, one's on French Town and the rest of them are that's good about that. So we were pretty good about that one. You know, we were able to retrieve, we were able to actually return some cans to the people, so that worked out pretty well as well.
Well, listen, I have a couple comments and probably a couple questions if I could.
Our team's here already to answer your questions. No problem.
Okay. Actually, from I'm going to turn that to the side. It keeps whistling at me. I would tell you that I love the direction. I think less calls and comments to us. Now, we did have a little hiccup during the Martin Luther King week that, and I think that was more on our side, that we probably didn't communicate it properly. We kept changing our game plan a little bit through the week, and I think we had a little snow in there too that I think kind of changed things a little bit. And I
no events the same week.
Was that the different week?
Yeah, no, it's the same week. Basically, you had a holiday and 2 snow events in the same week. That's what threw everything into the park.
It threw it off, and I know our former company would pick up during that holiday, and the challenge would be they couldn't go to the county dump to remove the product. But I think it's raining like crazy on me. So I think it was a little bit of a change for our residents, but it went very, very good, quite frankly. Other than the back-to-back snow events, and we just kept changing their game plan a little bit. It happened that I think some of the folks, they were, for some reason, there's always going to be that 1 or 2 persons that put their trash out at the wrong time, and we've already went through the neighborhood. I know that happens. And but overall, I'm going to tell you, I'm very happy with Republic Service. Very pleased with it. I wanted to know how the Buttonwoods has been working out.
Well, it's working well.
Yeah, if you go through there on, Monday, prior to them picking up, the cans are lined up nice. They're very neat looking. And then you get back there Tuesday, the people are pulling their cans back. So,
So they take the cans to that spot now?
Correct.
And the Republic picks up?
Right.
And then at the end of the day, they bring them back?
Residents pulling back, yeah. It's a lot more organized. I mean, it's worked out well.
Residents are complaining.
Tracy spent a lot of time on it, and, you know, it's worked out. So,
It's good.
you know, and like I said, you go through there, I usually take a ride through there on Monday before, and then Tuesday after, and, you know, the first week that it went into play, I was there. So, yeah.
And really, the reason why we address this, because we could hear from the residents, they're worried about the vehicles and the parking spaces were so narrow. So that's where, basically, Tracy came up with the idea, I'm gonna work with Republican kind of idea to bring everything out, because now you can safely collect the cans and not worry about the vehicles and any potential damages, and that's why we try to get everything out, so.
And listen, during that week, we had snow, you don't want the cans, you know, this is where I was telling the residents. They were saying, well, you're pushing me another day. I said, we have to get the roads open, we can't have a can in front of the road for all this to work, and it's just communication, and that's something that we'll work on our end a little bit better too. Is there any other places that you're looking at making a change on trash collection areas?
We're gonna do the second half of Buttonwood. We already did the 400, 500, and 600 block to get them. So then March 4th, I believe, is the first Monday, we'll do the 100, 200, and 300 block.
Okay.
That way, you know, I honestly, there was 3 people that wanted to know why. Once it was explained, they were fine.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I know.
All the trash cans were numbered. We went in there and put numbers on each lid. And there was 3 of us. We put the numbers on top, and
How did you
everybody was
know?
numbered, and oh, it was fun.
I don't know how you knew whose cans were.
Well, then we ended up finding 8 trash cans that were full of trash that should have never been out. They were left over, so we hauled them out one day. Brian had a crew go out there, and
Pick it up.
you know, and it went smoothly, and they were like, thank you for cleaning up. And, you know, we labeled them, told them what was going on to the few that were out there, and they were glad to see it happen. Instead of having cans everywhere sitting in people's yards, and, you know, they were relieved.
Well, I think there's a lot of residents don't know how to get, still, they got the old cans, and you probably did them a favor by getting rid of those cans that day. And I think that may be something in, maybe at the first of spring, we figure out how we can, if you have some old cans that are full of trash, let's get rid of them.
Exactly.
We'll create something.
And I read some numbers for the board, like for the first 3 months, first 90 days, as compared to the previous year. Our trash is down like 13.5% reduction, and our recycling has increased about 18%. So that's, you know, the numbers are working.
That's good. I was wondering about that.
Yeah. What about all the people that, they're not even using the recycling cans? Do we want to pick them up, or like,
If they call you or anything, they can call me, and we will go pick
you're
up
just
that
gonna pick
can.
them up? I'm wondering if, like, we're getting our brochures coming out, it's been delayed, apparently, with the trash information in it, but we're getting ready to have a water billing system changeover where we can put information, like a letter or something in there. So maybe if you're doing a pickup of old trash cans on a particular week or something, maybe we could tell anybody that's not using their recycling cans to put them out, and we can pull them, because I see them stacked a lot, you know, in different areas. People, you can tell people aren't using them. They haven't moved, you know, but maybe a general pickup of everything and be done with it. I don't know. Do we have any update on the smaller cans?
That
They should be arriving at the Public Works Highway at the end of the month. 28th.
so 2 weeks.
It's taking a little longer to get the manufacturer, but while for the couple
It's
of weeks.
okay, it's just, it's good to have, there are people who struggle.
Oh, sure. Yeah, the initial thing was to convert a bunch of containers, then we just decided to just buy new ones. So that's,
Oh, really?
that's the delay.
Okay.
We had containers, we were gonna change the lids, and it's just
Yeah.
easier just to buy new ones. So that's
I know somebody that doesn't even use their cans at all because they just can't manage them. So a friend comes and takes their trash away.
Yeah, they should.
It's, I'm like, I don't know how to fix that. You know. But thank you for that information.
Thank you. I think overall, it's going well.
Oh, can I have one last question?
Yeah.
If your driver goes up, your recycling driver goes up to pick up that like blue can and lifts the lid and sees trash in it, what do they do?
They'll tag it. They'll tag it as contaminated. And they'll leave
But
it.
they'll still take it, or they'll leave it for the trash guy?
They'll leave it for the trash.
Well, what happens, has been happening, I don't even know if you're aware of it, but I'll just enlighten you. The recycle guy will leave the lid back, and when the trash guy comes back by, he will grab the regular trash, and then he will see that the lid's up and it's full,
Ah,
and he will then grab that and put it into the trash.
okay. So the trash always follows recycling then?
Yeah, and they have been sending me, Nathan has been sending me the actual photos of the contaminated stuff and what it is, and a lot of it is the black trash bags are in there full with regular household trash.
Right.
One gentleman, I guess, decided his laminate flooring and
Oh.
2x4s were recyclable.
Okay.
And that seems to be pretty much what it is. It's too much food. It's going into the, and contaminating.
Yeah, I mean, people don't
recycling.
have a second container, they're just like, oh, I'll just
Yeah.
throw it in there.
Yeah, that'll contaminate.
But I don't want it to mess up our program, you know, and down at the landfill and whatever, if a lot of people are doing it. So that's an awesome thing to know that that's what you're doing.
Yeah, the landfill will definitely let you know, let us know if there's contamination.
You know if there's dirt.
Yeah, but that's good, how you have that worked out, that's awesome.
Another good thing about Republic's being here 5 days a week, they have a minimum of at least 3 trucks a day, sometimes as many as 4, so if something were the issue, they're pretty responsive, so the main thing is, you know. The good thing is there's no trash out there, they're good about collecting that.
They're good about picking up trash that shouldn't be there. I've seen it. Very good.
I have it noted on here that Republic availability is very good, and it's almost like the hands-on. You do see them each day of the week, whether they picking up trash or they just in an area where it needs to be done. What about Douglas Street? How have they reacted to that? Because that used to be a problem area.
I only had one call, and it was a gentleman whose trash can was full. His Republic can was full, and he decided to use a waste management can. And Dan back to me and said, well, Brian, the old trash cans for a lot of these people are like their second child. They don't want to part with that waste management can. And then once we tell them, we're going to pick it up, and Republic has been good. They have picked that one can up, and I tell them, once we dump it, don't put it out no more. It's not going to be picked up. And then that's, well, how do I get another can? And we tell them, it's $14.85 extra a month
Yeah.
for you to take that second can and ask yourself this, are you going to use it every week? Is it going to be worth it for a whole month, for a whole quarter?
So at this point, with your service in Elkton and you're being a provider, I guess at this point, you all do see eye to eye on everything, at least 90%.
Oh, yeah, I think that the way that this rolled out has been exemplary, really, with the bid and the 5-day-a-week service, I think is kind of the thing that holds it all together. And I will say that credit to the staff, because the initial rollout, there were some snafus, but you know, we worked with everybody and fixed everything so that no one was inconvenienced. But it really is a team effort.
So in all other situations, you can answer this, I see a lot of time in certain areas where the driver stays and put it into his truck, and I understand you gotta move. But sometimes it's not taxing on the guy who's doing the lifting and running, or is there a range they break off there?
You mean trying to keep them from moving the containers?
No, 2-man truck, driver, the guy who picks up every now and then, the driver gets out and help the guy if he sees it.
Yeah, they will do that. They will work together and do that. But you think of the progress you've made. That whole town was handled with those rear load trucks previously. Now it's down to about, you know, I guess 20 or 30%, depending on how you look at it. But no doubt, it is difficult, and location. So they try to minimize that as much as possible. But at the end of the day, they want to get done, however many hundreds of stops in a 10-hour day. So they'll move to get that happen, or make that happen.
And my last question is, I guess you all handle it. Are you guys told that they can pick the can up and dump it, or do you rather them to put it on the lift and they dump over it? Some of them guys are very strong. And at the end of the day, after doing all that lifting, you wonder how they survive.
Yeah, so they would definitely be trained to use the tipper, because any kind of injury, whether a shoulder or anything, has huge impacts, right, on the workforce. So they definitely are told to use the mechanical tippers, but sometimes they just go faster. So,
Thank you, sir.
yeah.
Bulk pickup. On bulk pickup, just to clarify, should we call Republic Direct?
No,
No.
hey.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bundle
Okay.
of work. Yeah, we schedule it, works out that way. Plus, we can explain how mattresses work, like just to remind the residents, if you have a mattress or a box spring, it has to be wrapped, and we have the bags available at DPW. All you gotta do is.
Okay, so for bulk pickup, we call Tracy.
Yes.
And at that point, you're going to ask, if I was to walk you through and I call you and I say, Tracy, hey, listen, I got something I need to be picked up, when can you pick it up? You're going to say, what is it?
Yeah. I get the name, phone number, address, what it is, and then I tell them when it will be picked up. If you were to call me today for your area, I would tell you it would be picked up on the 20th because of the holiday.
Okay.
And a lot of times Republic has the guy that picks up the bulk items on Monday. He might not be here, so by Tuesday it's gone because he hits the Monday stops first thing. And I'm going to be honest with you, right now I think I haven't had anybody scheduled for Friday in 3 weeks for a bulk item pickup.
Wow.
This week, Thursday, there's nothing.
About how many weeks you have?
It depends. It fluctuates. Right now, I'm going to be honest, it's tax time. I can't tell you. The ones that didn't get the new mattress during COVID, they're getting a new mattress and box spring now. They're getting new furniture. They're getting, especially a new TV. That's the priorities. And yes, we'll see an influx.
So when we pick up the bulk, for example, and it's a mattress, is it Republic picking up or us picking up?
No, it's Republic. We haven't really picked up any bulk other than in the regular areas that we hit.
Now, as a department, we probably spend at least 40 hours a week just to get the open dumping, which is located on different places. So if it's in the middle, like on the main drag or something, like around the man on the main, something like that. That's something that my guys will have to retreat just because it's in the middle of nowhere. It's just, just open dumping. You got that spot. Some other ones too. This is the same thing, but we dress that above the everything else because we have our separate crews. That material actually goes to the dumpster we have at the waste treatment plant up to the yard.
And Jeff Walter's been good about, he puts notices on people's doors saying, hey, you need to contact DPW. This carpenter's got to go. Either schedule it or take it down to their dumpster.
Very good. Any other questions on trash itself? Yes, sir, in the back. Yes, sir, in the back. Come on, tell us something there.
Good afternoon. How you doing, Ward? I attended a Hollingsworth Landing Association meeting last night, and there are a few residents down in Hollingsworth Manor that are not as delighted with the trash pickup. And I think a lot of it, after listening to them, it comes down to communication about whether it's not going to be picked up on Monday, whether it's going to be picked up on Tuesday. Or I even talked to one of the supervisors the other day down Public Works, and a lot of times it may even go another day. And I think that's probably from the holiday. But if the communication would be better to the folks down there, I think they'd be a lot happier. And another thing that was brought to my attention is it's great that recycling is picking up. We all want it to pick up. But a lot of times when the recycling cans are overflowing and the wind starts blowing around, down in that neighborhood you'll see a lot of trash recycling in the roadway that gets blown about the neighborhood, and it makes it all look trashy. And you want to see how good of a job Public Works is doing. Drive through Hollingsworth Manor on a Monday morning at 9 o'clock, and then go back through on a Wednesday, and you'll see how much there's a lot of dumping that happens. And what I found out, when the trash doesn't get picked up on the scheduled time, at least one of the residents, if not two or three, they get irritated that the trash hasn't been picked up. They'll take the trash can down to the corner and dump it on the corner, on the sidewalk, which is infuriating to the people who want to clean up that neighborhood as much as I've been trying to. I've been in touch with Tracy, I can't tell you how many times, she's tired of seeing him come down there and Republic, but everybody's been very receptive to the idea of cleaning it up, but I think communication would help the perception of some of the residents down Hollingsworth Manor when something's not going to happen the way it is. And Dan's right, his people do a lot of work down there, cleaning up the dumping, the trash that's been dumped out of the trash cans, and by Friday it looks a lot better, except for the recycling and trash, the little things on the road. And in thinking about, I know we have a street sweeper that comes to the downtown area. I was wondering if that was a possibility to run through the main streets of Hollingsworth Manor to pick up some of the crap on the side of the road before it gets blown into the yards. Just something to think about. And I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Well, listen, is there any game plan for picking up? Is it tough to pick up trash through Road 1, 2, 3, 4, through the different roads? Can the truck go through there?
Truck can go through there.
Truck goes through it, there's no problem, it's just,
We're talking about
I'm not gonna give you the number, but we're gonna watch her house in the morning at 7 a.m. to see if it's out there for real.
the few that have complained about it, we suspect that they're either not putting it out on time or they're not paying attention to it doesn't get until Tuesday, where communication can come in a little bit better.
What did you do with the guy who dumped his trash?
I don't know exactly who it is.
Some people are from the outside the area. Hollingsworth
Well, that's a
Manor
different
has
thing,
always been, like Cal Lane, like right now at the corner of Road 10, I got a picture from Republic. Yes, somebody dumped a bunch of stuff there. Where did it come from?
And
You'll never know.
Republic will pick up the stuff that's in the cans, but they won't pick up what's not in the cans until it's bulk pickup. But bulk pickup is not just a pile of crud.
I mean, we used to go in, I think Brian could tell you, with the backhoe and 5 tons and have to pick up couches, mattresses,
Well, we talked
rugs.
about that years ago.
Yeah.
And a lot of it comes from the outside. It's not
I
clean.
know. I would imagine people that live Lowfield Point Road or someplace like that knows they can drop stuff off and then they keep going, is what I would be guessing.
Occasionally that happens on Cal Lane.
We pick up,
But-
pick up Caroline probably pretty much
Are we
every
not able
Monday.
to monitor that, like with
They'll put up
trail
cameras.
cams or, huh?
The only way you're gonna monitor it is with cameras on
That's
Cal
what I
Lane.
mean. Is there a what? Is there a
Oh,
place?
Cal Lane's the dumping ground where,
Okay.
so the only way you're gonna catch who's doing it is to have cameras put up. And I'll guarantee within
I
about
mean,
2
because
weeks.
they're not leaving any trash that makes them identifiable, I'm sure.
Sometimes they do. We've gone through it at times, yeah.
We've caught a few. so,
Yeah.
What do you do?
We usually take it to the police and they research it. Yeah, we've done a couple of them where we've gone through and found their addresses in there and they've gone back.
That's good.
It's not every time, but there's.
You don't pick it up and take it back to them?
With your permission,
Right.
we will.
Go ahead.
With your permission, we will.
I'll tell you the truth,
Full
I
turn
would.
off.
Because I'd say, I think you lost something.
Very
Thank you,
good.
Melissa.
Thank you. All right. This is a workshop. Is there anything, do you ladies have anything that you wanted to bring to the board today?
Yes, we do.
Marjorie, go ahead.
I just wanted to announce that this Friday night, we have our very first winter light parade that we're hosting, the Elkton Lions is hosting. We're doing this in partnership with Cecil County Tourism and the Cecil County Arts Council. This has all been from a grant that we received from the Upper Shore Regional Council, that we were able to provide workshops to members of the community to create lanterns for the parade. That was very well met, and we're super excited to have people gather at 6 p.m. at the Arts Council at 135 East Main Street for the parade. We will head down Main Street. It is a walking parade that will go down to Bow and then double back on itself. The parade will begin at 6:30. So if people want to come down as spectators, that would be awesome. After the parade, we will have hot cocoa available for spectators and parade participants at both the Arts Council and the Elkton Alliance.
Fantastic.
Good idea.
And I'll let you know, I made my lanterns.
Yes, you did.
I like it.
You're welcome.
I like it, your white lanterns.
I may walk or I might get a substitute.
And I want you to know that my lights are going up today.
Oh, very good. It's almost the end of February. We're excited.
I've been busy.
Well, very good. Well, listen, the workshop is now over, and I'd like to ask the board for a closed meeting to talk with personnel. Do we have a motion?
Second.
And a second, any discussion? It's to have a meeting with personnel, and we're gonna have Dan in first, then we got Mary in second, then we got Jean Minner in third, is that correct? And we will not reconvene, so we have a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries, everyone agrees except Earl is absent. Put Earl Fire is absent, so this meeting is adjourned.